it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Are you guys ready to go over the budget for the second week in November? I'm ready. I feel like this month is flying by already. I say that every month, don't I? Alright, let's switch over to my budget by Paycheck Workbook. I will have my deluxe monthly from Erin Condren waiting in the wings for me to reference to see what bills I need to pay this week. But we're primarily working in this book today. So I'm going to flip to the back where I have my printable pages. I've talked to you guys ad nauseum about the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. I think it's a phenomenal resource. I'm not going to give you the hard sell. I'm not trying to sell anything here, you guys. I don't make a dime off of any of this stuff that I recommend to you. I just know what I like. I know what works for me, and I'm excited about it. So definitely check out the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. Definitely check out the Eraseable pens from Parkoo. Let's get into the budget. So we all know I don't talk about income here on my channel because my husband doesn't want me to, and I respect that. So we're going to skip over this income section and go straight to bills. Under the bills category, I always put down anything that I am going to be paying with my checking account. I do most of my spending and budgeting in cash, but there's some things you just can't use cash for. So that is the stuff that goes here under bills. So it's my weekly bills, it's my grocery budget because I do all of my grocery shopping online using the Walmart pickup service, anything like that that I can't pull out in cash. So let me zoom you guys in and we'll start writing everything out. First up is the paycheck date, which is what? Let me take a look at a calendar here. November 10th was the paycheck date. My husband gets paid on Tuesdays. Alright, and now let's start writing out our expenses for the week. So we have my grocery and household budget. I've been combining these two lately. It's been working out good for me. And I budget $175. The idea being that it's $150 for groceries and $25 for gas, but you guys know with a household budget, I tend to either way overspend or way underspend. So, you know, if I need to spend $40 in household items this week, I'll just spend a little bit less in groceries. As long as those two combined items don't come up over $175, I'm a happy camper. All right, next up we have, let's see. My Subaru payment is due. And I'm going to budget $390 for that. Next up we have DTE. I'm going to be paying my electric bill this week. I am on the budget plan for my electric bill and my gas bill so that they are the same every month throughout the year. That way my electric bill isn't sky high in the summertime when we're running the air conditioner, and my gas bill isn't sky high in the wintertime when we're running the furnace. So it's the same every month, makes it really easy to budget for. Yeah, it's going to be $212 for my DTE bill, and for Michigan Gas, which is the company that supplies my gas, we're going to budget $40, and that is what that bill will be. And that's it for my bills and expenses that need to stay in my checking account this week. So, easy peasy. I'm just going to add these up. Let me grab my calculator here. I'm trying to go through this really quickly because sometimes I get a little rambly and I talk a lot, and I don't want this video to be super duper long. I'm going to up my brightness so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I always keep my brightness on my phone really low to preserve battery, and then you guys can't see. So 175 plus 390 plus 212 plus 40 is 817 for bills and expenses this week. Next, we will move on to our cash envelopes. you guys know I like to pull out my weekly spending in cash and keep it in cash envelopes in my wallet. And so let's talk about the categories this week. First up is my husband's spending. He will get $40, as will I for my personal spending. For gasoline, we're going to do, yep, you guessed it, $40 for that as well. We have eating out, which we also do $40. Nice round numbers all the way down the page. Then we have miscellaneous, which will encompass anything that I didn't think to budget for, anything that comes up unexpectedly. Sort of acts as my buffer if I go over budget in any of these other little categories. Works out great for me. Highly recommend that you also have a miscellaneous item in your budget. We're going to do $40 for that. And lastly, for cash envelopes this week, I'm going to give my son Austin $20 for helping me out. And that could go under cash envelopes or sinking funds. Doesn't really matter, but I just need to remember to pull 20 bucks out for him. So that's it for the cash envelopes. That's the cash that I pulled out, or that I will pull out rather, that we're going to spend this week. So let's add that up. 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 40 plus 20. $220 for envelopes this week. Easy peasy. Alright, next up is sinking funds. I like to save money a little bit throughout the weeks, months, years for things that I know that are coming up that I want to have money set away for. So I always use Christmas as my example. Christmas is something that you know comes every year. Why not be prepared for it? Set a little bit of money aside throughout the year so that when December rolls around, you can buy all your Christmas gifts. It doesn't have to be a set amount every single week. You don't even have to add to your sinking funds every single week. I have about a dozen sinking funds, but I don't add money to them every single week. I pick and choose the ones that are going to help me accomplish my goals right now. Like, for example, it's November right now. So I don't necessarily need to be setting money aside for something that's going to be happening, you know, in the summer next year if I don't want to. I am focusing on the goals that I need to accomplish sooner than that right now, or the goals that have a really high overall amount that I want to save. Like my campground is not due until October of next year, but that's like, you know, $1,400 that I need to save. So I'm saving a little bit throughout the time now so that I don't have to save such large quantities. I feel like I'm making this more complicated than it has to be when I'm explaining it. I always feel that way when I talk about sinking funds. There are dozens and dozens of videos on YouTube explaining sinking funds in a much better way than I seem to be able to. So definitely check some of those out if you want more information on sinking funds. Let's just talk about the sinking funds I'm going to set money aside for. So, as I mentioned, I have my campground sinking fund. And for that, I plan on setting aside $50. I don't know what there we go. That's a little bit better. Hey Jesse, it's an erasable pen. You can just erase it and try again. Sometimes I forget that these pens are erasable. Alright, next up I have car maintenance. And for car maintenance, I'm going to set aside $25. Next up is home maintenance. And I'm going to set $25 aside for that. Lastly, are school expenses. So my son is going to be starting school in person next week. We have had him at home virtually learning for the past few months. Our school gave us the choice whether we wanted to go virtual or in school. We chose virtual at first, and he just really, really wants to go back to school. So I had to kind of weigh his physical health and his mental health. You know, he hates virtual school. He wants to be able to see his friends. He wants to be able to get out of the house. He's been cooped up for months. So we made the tough decision to go ahead and allow him to go back to school. So we've really been draining this school expenses fund, getting like back to school clothes and supplies and stuff that he needs for in-person school. So adding a little bit more to that, we're going to do $50. So hopefully our state will not shut the schools back down, because it's been really hard on him emotionally. So we'll have to see how it goes, but he's really, really excited to get back to school next week. All right, so if we add all this up, it is $150 I'm going to set aside for our sinking funds this week. All right, next up we have our extra debt section, and that is where I keep my debt snowball. I am using the debt snowball method to pay down our debt. We have quite a few credit cards. We have a lot of credit card debt, and we are slowly but surely chipping away at it. We are, at this point in our journey, paying $150 every single week to the card that is lowest on our list, which right now is a Lowe's card. So I'm going to budget $150 to send to that card for a total of $150. And lastly, I have my extra savings. I have been setting aside a little bit of money every week to have on hand just for anything that comes up, anything fun, just like extra money to have on hand. And it's good because I have been using that fund, and I would have had to say no to a lot of things over the past couple of weeks had I not had that fund. So it just allows me to say yes to opportunities and things that cost money that I would otherwise have to say no to. So I'm going to put $50 aside for that. An example of this is I have been getting some Stitch Fix boxes over the past couple of months and really enjoying them. They just sent me an email this morning offering me the Style Pass, which, if you're not familiar with Stitch Fix, it's a clothing styling service. And typically you pay $20 to have the stylist style a box for you. But the Style Pass is a $50 one-time annual fee, and you can get as many boxes as you want styled throughout the year. So it's a great savings on that $20 per box. And so I decided to take advantage of that, and I was able to do that by taking money out of this extra sinking fund. I would not have had that money otherwise. So I'm really glad that I have my little extra savings, and I'm going to continue to add to this because it's been really, really handy. I never feel guilty about spending a little bit more than is in my typical budget because I have this extra savings to fall back on, much like my miscellaneous category in the cash envelopes. So yeah, it's been working out great, and I'm going to continue that. All right, you guys, so that is my budget for the second paycheck. That's paycheck number 2. Mark that up here for the month of November. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. You're going to want to come back because next time I will be doing the cash envelope stuffing for this budget. So I will pull out all of this cash and stuff my envelopes. It's always my favorite part of the weekly budget, so you're not going to want to miss that video. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye!